Hello everyone. Today this video is going to be about my stats and how I got into USC and things like that. So yeah, I wrote some notes on my phone, but basically I'm going to tell you like my college story, because like I didn't go to a four-year university. I went to a community college, and then I got into USC as a transfer student. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. If you don't care, then I'll put some timestamps below so you can skip to whatever information you want to hear about. And then I'm going to go into my stats, my actual stats, and what my stats were as a transfer student. And I'm going to kind of be telling you like what actually matters as a transfer student, and then at the end I'll give you a little bit of some resources and some tips, and then open it up if y'all have any questions. But yeah, so my college story, in high school I was a very normal average student. I wasn't like getting straight A's, I wasn't a valedictorian, but I also wasn't like a terrible student. I got like A's and B's. I was involved in a couple clubs. I was just very, very normal. So when I was in high school, I didn't plan on going to community college. I actually applied to 7 schools that were, so 5 of them were state schools, like California state universities, and 2 of them were the University of California. So really quickly, the schools that I applied to were San Jose State, San Diego State, Cal Poly SLO, Cal State Long Beach, and I think SF State, San Francisco State. And then the 2 UCs I applied to were UC Irvine and UC Santa Barbara. And I got into all 5 of the state schools, but I didn't get into any of the UCs, which was fine. In the end, I decided to go to San Jose State because it's a local state school. It's really close to my house. It's like 20 minutes away. I knew a lot of people from my high school going there. My best friend was going there, so I was like, okay, like this is all gonna work out. But I actually got rescinded from San Jose State because I failed to pay a bill on time. Yep, I know, so sad, too bad, boo-boo, whatever. And I found this out like 2 weeks before my graduation, so didn't really have much of a choice but to go to a community college. So I mean, that was fine. So yeah, that was kind of my very unconventional college story. I actually had a really great time at community college. It was really good. I learned a lot the past 2 years. I wouldn't have really been able to get into USC as a transfer student if I went to San Jose State in the first place. So, everything happens for a reason and it all works out, whatever. Anyways, now I'm gonna get into the tea. I'm gonna get into my stats now. So as a transfer student, your GPA is really what matters. That is the most important thing probably. It's not that's what they look at, that's everything that they look at, but it is very important. So yeah, that GPA is really important, and I had a 3.9 GPA. I had a 1B, and that fucked it up, but it's fine. I had a 3.9. Also, I had a couple A minuses. My school kind of lowers your GPA if you have an A minus, which pisses me off, but I know, I know it depends on each school, so, but yeah, I had 3.9 GPA, and then for extracurriculars, I didn't really do that much. I just had jobs. I had, sometimes I was working up to 3 jobs at a time, but that was during the summer. During the school year, I would sometimes work at most 2 jobs at a time, but there's this one restaurant that I've been consistently working at since high school, so that's something to add. I was in the Phi Theta Kappa Society, which is like this honor society, like for community colleges, I think, or I think it might be for all universities, but I joined that. I wasn't really an active member in it or anything, but it was something to put on my resume. I also volunteered at the Humane Society shelter that's like really near my house. I would try to go in at least like twice a month, but you know how it goes. It's obviously not my first priority, so. But as long as you have like some sort of volunteer hours, or like, you know, you like have some place that you volunteer, that's something to put on your application. Let's see, I was also in the honor society in my community college, which is basically like you can just take honors classes. It's basically where you can take honors courses in your community college, and it kind of shows that you're a student that like cares about your academics. I think that's it. I also did an internship at like this art gallery, art space in downtown San Jose, which I really enjoyed. I did that for about 6 months. Yeah, I think that's all I put.
Hey guys, so I'm editing this right now, and I realized I forgot to say that I was part of a Humanities Mellon Scholar program at my community college, which is basically like they give you a certificate if you finished a certain amount of humanities courses, and I was in that because I was interested in humanities, and although it wasn't my major, like it was something that I enjoyed learning about and taking classes on and stuff like that. So that's also something, like if there are programs at your school that interest you, or like if there are any certificates that you can earn based on the courses that you take, or any degrees, like associate degrees or anything like that, you should definitely do that, because I think that definitely helps universities see what you're interested in and see that you're passionate about other things besides your major. And like, yeah, it shows that you're capable of, like, I guess not capable, but I guess like you have a well-rounded education and you're not just focused on like doing the like minimum requirements. So that's also another tip.
I think the most important thing on your college application as a transfer student is your GPA, the classes that you take, and your essays and your extracurriculars. I think those are like the major things. I think your essays, like you need to work on your essays a lot. I started my essays the summer before applications were due, so yeah, about like 3-4 months to work on them, and I knew I wanted to start earlier. Please do not jump on the table, kitty. I wanted to start earlier because I knew once school started, like I wouldn't really have time. Kitty, no! She's trying to jump on the table, but I'm balancing my camera on a bunch of shit, so I know she's gonna jump, it's gonna knock it over. Please go away, please go away, please go away. Anyways, yeah, I started my essays like a couple months in advance because I knew once school started I wouldn't have as much time to focus on them, so I would recommend doing that. I would recommend really working on your GPA and really keep in mind what courses you're taking. So universities really like it if you take a lot of the major courses, and it kind of shows that you're like interested in your major, and if you take them earlier on, like it shows on the application, so like they know that that's something you want to pursue and that's something that you've been working towards. So that's also something, like don't just take all GEs your first year, like you should throw in a couple major related classes if you can. And if you're undecided, you should try to show that you're interested in like a certain major or that you're like trying to like see what you want, I guess. But yeah, the courses you're taking matter, and obviously your grades matter, and the essays really matter. And then for extracurriculars, I would say like if you work, that's good. If you have an internship, that's good. If you volunteer, that's also good. Like just anything, like if you're in any clubs, if you're in any honor society, like that's really good to just kind of like bump up your application just a little bit more. It's not like super necessary, but it'll definitely like help you kind of stand out from other students, especially if you're like really invested in your work, or you're really invested in your extracurriculars, or if you're really invested in a club that you're in. You can also write about that in your essay and then just kind of like show how that is important in your life and how that like helps them understand who you are, because that's all really what they're trying to know, is if you're a good fit for their university. So I would say my number one tip for transfers is to like research. I can make a whole different video like really going in on how the transfer application works. If y'all are interested, please let me know, because I can do that. But like research is so key, and like doing it in a timely manner, or like planning shit out, that is so key, because I know a lot of people are scrambling around trying to figure out where they want to apply to, how to apply, like if they're meeting the requirements. I know it's really hard to do that last minute, so I would really highly recommend that you start your research early, and the sooner the better. So yeah. Anyways, I can do a whole like video if you're interested in learning how to apply to universities as a transfer student, and how that works, and what you need to do, and all that jazz. I can let you know because I've been through it. I had to do all the research on my own. Usually there isn't a lot of resources out there for transfers, because there just isn't. I don't know why, but yeah, I mean, if you really want to transfer, you're gonna make it work. I did it. Y'all can do it, okay? Anyways, I think that's pretty much my stats from community college. I know if you want to input like your SAT scores or your ACT scores or your AP scores, or like any testing thing like that from high school, you can. Just if you want to. I know it doesn't really make that big of a difference. If you didn't take SATs, if you didn't take AP tests, like that's totally fine. I know a friend who went to high school in Korea, didn't have any of that. She just got her GED. She went back here and transferred. She's going to Berkeley now, so you don't need any of that. That doesn't matter, as long as you focus on your grades, your courses, or keep in mind the courses that you take, your extracurriculars, and your essays. Just make sure you really research and prepare beforehand, and it'll make your life a lot easier. But yeah, I just want to say, like, just because I got in with my stats doesn't mean that someone else will necessarily get in if they have the exact same stats. It's just, I feel like the college application process is very, not random, but like it's unpredictable. Like you really can't tell if someone's gonna get in, except for the admissions officers. So I'm just sharing like my perspective and what I have, I guess, like just to give you a little bit more insight. But by no means am I like saying that, oh, if you're exactly like me, you're gonna get in to whatever institution that you want to get in. So it's I'm just sharing because some of y'all requested it, and if this helps anyone, like, I'm glad. But yeah, I wouldn't say that, like, what am I trying to say? Like, I wouldn't wouldn't say that like if you have the exact same stats as me, like whatever you're gonna get in, like I can't guarantee that, you know. So yeah, just please keep that in mind. Like the college application and like admissions process is very like unpredictable, and I know that there are a lot of stat videos out there, and honestly, I think it's just important to be yourself. Just try your best to show the admissions officer who you are, and everything happens for a reason. If you get in, you get in. If you don't, you don't, you know. So best of luck to y'all. I hope this helped someone out there. If you have any more questions, you can let me know in the comments. If you want me to make that video about the transfer application process, let me know and I can do that for you. So yeah, I hope this helped. Hope you enjoyed watching. Peace out.